Hello, Gail. Hello, little lady. Hi, everybody. Okay, let me get my notebooks. Let me make sure I hit the live because I don't even know if I went live. I really don't. Did I go live or did I not? I don't even know. Let's see. Yes, I did. Okay. My notebook. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm back to my old days. We haven't had a lot of trials, not like trials that I was really that new cases, inside and out. And Megan Boswell's is one that I covered from the get-go, so I kind of feel like it's like back in the day, like back in 2019, back in 2020, back when we were doing all those trials pre-COVID, right? Then COVID hit, trials like stopped. And then it seemed like the trials that came after that were just, I don't know, just not. Now these are the cases that we covered. The Monica Sementilli one, I'm really into that too. You guys should get into that one too. Now, they will have days where they're more, not as explosive, but I don't think we've seen anything yet. I think this is kind of going to go the way Adelson's trial went. Like some days it was just not that salacious, but then, you have a day with Wendy on there, or a day with Katie Magmanua, or, Siegfried and all the. Okay, so let's talk about today, day 7. So I'm back to my notebooks and all that good stuff, right? It hasn't been that long since we did, but it just feels like it. I don't know why. It just feels like I'm back in 2019. All right, day 7. Sally Schoen. She is an executive from Wella. She said that they said about Fabio's death. When Fabio died, she went to the public relations department to announce Fabio's death. And Monica told her that Fabio's salary was stopping. And this was back in March of 2017, about 2 months after he was murdered. So this is a woman, Sally, that knew the Sementilli since about 2010. And they kind of moved into the Woodland Hills area at the same time. They were new, and Monica and her would shop together. They would have dinners together. So she knew them and the family, Fabio and the girls, pretty well. So, but she also, would travel. She had to go to Switzerland and back and forth. But anyway, after Fabio died, there was a dinner in March where she took Monica and one of her daughters out, Jessica. And then there was a cousin of one of the girls. So around the girls' age, so the girls would chatter, and Monica and Sally were able to speak to each other without having their conversations overheard by the younger girls, right? So she told Sally that Fabio's salary was going to stop, and then salary. Oh my gosh, salary. Sally. Can you? Oh my gosh. Sally took it upon herself to go to Henry Meyer and told him, can we do something about this? About, what about more severance and stuff, like, some kind of pay for Monica. So they agreed to pay Fabio's salary for 6 months. And Fabio was making $222,000, so she was going to get 6 months of that, thanks to Sally. And they said, well, Monica didn't ask you to do it. No, she didn't. Okay, so she was able to get 6 months' salary via Henry. And Monica told Sally at that dinner she was frustrated with the police about the life insurance. Now, when they talked to Sally about how she went to the house after Fabio's murder, Sally expressed how fearful she was to be in that house. She didn't want to be in there. After all, remember, they're not supposed to know who did this to Fabio. She didn't know if they're going to come back, but Monica was just totally fine with staying in that house. Totally fine. Hi, Leslie B. How are you? Yes, you've been watching this, The Friend That Looks Like Goldie Hawn. Yeah, absolutely, right? Okay, so she was just totally fine with staying in the house. As long as the bedding and everything was changed, she was fine. But every time Sally was there, Sally was she just said she was terrified being there. You know, she was fearful. She didn't know what was going on. They didn't have anybody, you know, on the hook for the murder, and she didn't know. And she just couldn't believe Monica was so cavalier about it. Cavalier about it to the point that when they were having dinner on that March day night, Isabella wasn't at the dinner. And Sally said that Monica got a text that Isabella was on the way home. And Sally was like, no, tell her to come here. Well, I'll get her dinner. Hi, Linda Uribe. How are you? You remember Monica Case? She looks much older now. Yeah. So Sally says, no, Monica, don't let Isabel go to the house. You know, it's too dangerous. It's far too dangerous. Please let her come to the restaurant and I'll get her dinner and then we can go back, you know, and you guys can go back together. And Monica's like, no, she doesn't want to. She's just on her way home. So then Sally started freaking out. And Sally's like, I said, go now. I'll get the bill. Don't you? I got everything. Just go, get out of here. She wanted Monica to get home. She did not want Isabella walking into that house after, again, remember, they're not supposed to know anything about who killed Fabio. So then, about the trip to Vegas, they asked her, what did Monica tell you about that? She said, oh yeah, Monica talked about a trip to Vegas during the March dinner. And what she told Sally is that her friend had a timeshare and she was going to go get away with a friend, right? She didn't tell her that, no, that's not the case, and that she had someone at the company get her a room for a great deal who booked the trips. And she didn't tell her that she was going away with Rob Baker, right? No. So Sally's reaction, she said she was kind of shocked about Vegas, but felt bad for judging Monica and thought, well, what are you going to do? Maybe the only friend, you know, because Monica doesn't have any money, she's saying, right, that she could only go where her friend has a timeshare, and her friend just happens to have a timeshare in Las Vegas. And so, you know, let's go there. I don't know what, Net Detective. What don't I know? Tell me. Enlighten me what I don't know. So that she felt bad judging. Maybe the only way she could get away is to go in that timeshare. So she said, okay, you know, she wasn't going to judge Monica. Now, did she ever talk about Rob Baker to you, they asked. Sally said, no. Another man? No. Any intimate relationships? No, Sally says. And that was it for the prosecution. And then the cross. So they said, you know, from 2010 to 2017, you had a relationship with the whole family, right? You guys entertained together, you shopped together, you would have dinners together, all of this. Yes, Sally says. Sally, you were interviewed years after Monica's arrest, right? She says, yeah. And the last time you were interviewed was April 2024? Yes. Okay, so then she says, what, did you know they had that Fabio and Monica had a very adoring and loving relationship? Yes, Sally said. That is what you observed? Yes. At the memorial in Canada, she said that it was very hard to get close to Monica. There was like a kind of a receiving line, but she did say that Monica could hardly speak and basically fell apart. Is that what you said? Yes. And then back in California, when you offered to bring lunch over there, can you tell me about that? She said, yes, she brought lunch over there, and she was surprised because I guess they hadn't lived in that house too long, and Sally had never seen it. So she said everybody was showing her this house and showing her around, and they couldn't wait to show her the pool area and everything, but that's where Fabio was murdered. So she was like kind of skeeved by that, and to be even going out to the area where he was murdered. But she said, they wanted to show her that, and essentially it was the crime scene, Okay. And then they said, you testified that you had a dinner in March with Monica, and they asked her, was anyone else there? And that's when she said, yes, a cousin of Monica's, I think it was her sister's daughter. And she said, was it appropriate to speak with Monica while the teens, were there? And yes, they were talking so they could have a conversation that the teens didn't even hear. After that dinner, you were in Switzerland. She says, no, I would fly back and forth every couple of weeks. So they asked her, well, when you were back in California, did you ever offer to help Monica? Yes. And then can you tell us about a time in April of 2017? She said, yes. She was supposed to meet Monica. They were either going to go out to eat or she was bringing food over. She thinks she was bringing food over. And she was also going to pick up bowls and dishes and things that people at the company, which was now Cody, C-O-T-Y, that, had sent over food to Monica. So she was going to pick up everyone's dishes. And she said that Monica told her that she had left that stuff out on the porch, which this is a little weird because she said at first that Monica was at the Ford dealership and she was held up there or something. But then why would you leave the dishes on the porch already? That was a little bit weird, but they didn't elaborate on that. So she said that when she went to the house to pick up the stuff, she was very, very nervous still because they hadn't found who did this to Fabio. And, there it was. Didn't know what was going on. So I don't know why my chat is not. Hold on. Let me refresh my page here because. Net Detective, enlighten me, hon. What don't I know? Tell me what I don't know. Why won't Night Detective answer me? Net Detective, what don't I know? Don't be scared. Don't be scared to answer. Okay, she had a great life and gave it up for a bad guy. I had her husband killed, who was a nice guy. Exactly, Linda Uribe. Don't forget, he was an ex-porn star, a swinger, an S-offender. Yeah, lots of love. Real great guy, right? Right, Linda? Real great guy. Because Fabio was a real nice guy. He was. Okay, so we have Sally picking up those bowls and things. And then they said, you said that 2 times you saw Monica and you said she was a mess in February. And she said, no. She said, I saw her at the house for a brunch. I got things and brought them there. She was a mess one time. And then in February and March, she started pulling herself together. And she goes, by the time she was having that dinner in March, it was normal. And she said the reason that she said that they said, didn't you tell the detective that Monica seemed depressed? She said, well, what it was that Monica lost a lot of weight. And, but they said, didn't it look like she totally collapsed in February? She said, no, she was totally collapsed in February. But After that, she started to pull it together. She started to go to the gym. She lost a lot of weight. She started getting fit. And she was trying to say that, well, she was, she mistook that for being depressed or something. I don't know. Did you ask Monica about the investigation at dinner? And you testified, Monica said Fabio's salary is stopping. You did that on your own, that you got her the 6 months. She says yes. They said Monica didn't ask you to do that, right? That's correct. And then there was a redirect, and the prosecution said the Toronto Memorial was limited access. You had limited access to Monica, right? Yes. Did you see tears? Did you see her crying? She said, I can't say she had tears, but I can't definitively say she didn't. At February, you said by February she was pulled together, no tears, yes. And by March she was normal, no tears, no crying, yes. And in April, when you were meeting to pick up the dishes, she was detained at the Ford dealership. She was and she said, yeah, she couldn't meet her, and they were supposed to meet for dinner, or Sally was going to bring dinner there. Did she tell you she was buying a brand new Ford Mustang? And Sally said no, and then she was excused. Okay. Then the next witness was Tracy Rakovich. She's a benefits director. Now, she is no longer with Wella or Cody or, any of those companies. They went through the companies like she is in. It was like, oh, I was in Bausch and Lomb. You're there? No. I was in Church and Dwight. Oh, yeah. Are you still there? No. She just kept going on. But at the time that we're talking about, she was employed by Cody for about 3 years. Now, she lives in New Jersey. She works in New York City. So she would fly whenever she needed to California to take care of things. But she was the benefits director, and she helped, employees get their benefits every year and opt in for what they want and oversee all that. And so they said, well, at that time, the business contracted with MetLife for insurance. Is that correct? Yes. And you assisted employees during the annual enrollment? Yes. And you processed death claims? Yes. And through MetLife? Yes. And you managed stock options? No, she said. That's handled by on the local level. Okay. And Henry Meyer, we're going to hear from him in a minute. He's the local level in Woodland Hills. So then they talked about Janet Goldberg. She worked under Henry. Yes. Did you ever meet Fabio? Yes, this witness, Tracy, says. She said during the transition when Cody bought Wella, the transition seminar was in 2016 in Woodland Hills. And at this time, Monica's smiling broadly at the witnesses, and she does this. She smiled broadly at Luigi. And, hey, Lori Staggs. She smiled really big at Luigi, and then as soon as he started saying some stuff she didn't like, she went to writing and everything. Henry Meyer, yeah. Yum, you love him. Okay, hi, it's just me. Hi, White Angel. So, let's say, so then 2017, they talked a lot about the enrollment here. You assisted Fabio, yes, and there's an email exchange, and she goes through these emails with her at length. Okay, there's chains of emails from April 8th and 9th of 2016 that she emailed Fabio to assist him in health benefits. A benefit summary was there. Multiple pages of benefits you sent him, yes. He could enroll in these, yes. You clarified benefits don't include a cost of living increase with him. Yes. On page 12 of the document, so they're just going over everything with her. Then they go to his annual salary, $222,000, and he had opted in for 6 times his salary. in one of the insurances that he got. In 2016, he had questions about the 401k, yes, and said you reviewed his benefits with him, his life insurance, his retirement. He signed up for the 6 times the salary in 2017 benefit, yes. Did you provide Fabio with information about the life insurance, the accidental death and dismemberment? Yes. So they're just going through all of these emails, right? In 2017, then, there was something else for 2 times his annual salary, and then a supplemental for 1 time his annual salary, and then an accidental for 2 times his annual salary, and then his beneficiaries were Monica and the children. Then she went through a 7-page email chain, okay, and they asked, did Monica make the life insurance claim? Yes. Did Luigi, that's the son, no. Only person was Monica? Yes. Death certificate was shown. It's shown like on certain things. Monica had the largest part of any insurance. She had 45%, 40%, 50%, while the kids had the rest. Some just were for the girls, some were for all 3 kids. Now, when they're showing this, Monica looked puzzled, pained at times. Like, really, it looked like she had like a sharp gas pain or something at times. It really was something. She spoke with her lawyers in these hushed tones, whispers. And then you explained that once she submitted this to MetLife, it's out of your hands once you submit it. Yes. In previous experience, does life insurance companies in the case of murder need law enforcement to provide information? Yes. Did you receive information law enforcement would need to provide info? She said, yes, because the death was not natural and all beneficiaries need clearing. Documents received, then the claims are paid. And then there was like 7/10/2017, which would be after the arrest, and there were 2 checks paid, 1 to Luigi and 1 to Jessica and Isabella. Yes. And payments were paid to 3 of the 4 beneficiaries. Yes. Okay, and then it was almost $1 million that was paid out then. They said, were there any police representatives sent to you to go to MetLife? No. Reports, I'm sorry, no. Supplemental AD&D, did Fabio max out? Yes, and then, so there was like a $775,000 to be paid, and then there was 2 times the salary to Monica, and she would have, I think her cut on just that stuff alone was like $877,000, but that was never paid out to her because of what happened. Now, stock options, they went through that. She said no. Then it was the cross-examination, and this was just a ridiculous waste of time. What this lawyer was doing was just like trying, I think, just to confuse the jury, and just, even there were objections that this is not relevant. It's not, many things were not relevant. That's what I'm saying. When the facts aren't on your side, you try to steer it another way and get everything all jumbled up and ask questions that they're totally irrelevant. So that's what he did. It's nothing even worth mentioning. The next witness was Henry Meyer. He's the head of HR. He said Monica was harassing him, saying he was taking too long and it was out of his hands. He was very irritated by Monica. That was the gist of his testimony. She was calling, again, multiple times, and it became like harassment. And he couldn't do anything about it, but she would get on at first nice, and then she just got very harassing, like badgering. The cross, okay, now when they did the cross on him, it was ridiculous. It was the same kind of thing, okay, where they asked him, when did he find out Fabio was dead? He said he was actually in a Home Depot in Woodland Hills when he found out. He went to Monica's house. He had heard that she had clean blood in the house. He went with his CO there, and his CO knew Monica and the family much better. He really didn't know her very much. He said in HR, they try to keep their distance, from the employees and everything. They're not going to get too friendly. He went to the house. He said when he went to the house, immediately the police and the fire chiefs were there, and he ended up being detained on the front stoop for about 15 minutes. And they said, well, what were you trying to do? He said he was trying to process it, trying to take it all in. What could have happened? It seemed like, he didn't say in a movie. He said it seemed like fiction. Okay, it seemed like he met neighbors there, the one that used to be supportive of Monica. He left the scene because there was nothing for him to do, and they had to figure out what to do with the company, okay? There were crisis meetings to have. They had to know how they were going to handle this because people in the company were traumatized by Fabio's death. It's not just a death, it's this murder, this brutal murder, and they don't know who did this, why, or anything else. People are scared, people are shattered, people are all, going crazy. So they've got to manage things in the company. And I just put the defense lawyers asking irrelevant questions to confuse or mislead the jury. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so that is all that happened today. After that, they broke. Now we're going to go to Megan Boswell. Let me get that pulled up here. Okay. All right, so their opening statements were horrendous, okay? This took 5 years to go to trial. First, the male on the prosecution team got up and just held in front of him the charges and read them in the most monotone. I thought that was their opening statement. I was like, oh my gosh. Then the woman got up. She had a legal pad with some stuff down. But she should know this inside and out, okay? She shouldn't even need a legal pad. She should know it inside and out. And she was all chopped up. She just had the legal pad there. Even when it came to key things, I'm trying to remember if it was where baby Evelyn was found. She would have to stop, glance at her notebook. Then she should know baby Evelyn was found in the playhouse. Baby Evelyn was found in a trash can. Baby Evelyn was found in a garbage bag, under another garbage bag. All of that. That should be like the back of this woman's hand if you're prosecuting the case. When you are a prosecutor, or I don't care if you're on the defense and you're making an opening statement, you have to grab the jury. You have to make them understand what is going on. You have to capture their attention, grab a hold, make them pay attention, understand this is a 13-month-old baby who's been murdered. It's just, it was lacking, severely lacking, and the defense was lacking too. But the defense gets up to make their opening statement. They get 2 words out of their mouth, and all of a sudden, the judge says, I'm sorry to interrupt, sends the jury out of the room, and then he looks over into the gallery and he goes, who are you with? And the woman is shaking. It sounded like a young girl, and she gives the paper that she's with. And he says, you're the still photographer? And she's like, yes. And he's like, if your flash goes off again, you are going straight to jail for 10 days. I will hold you in contempt of this court. And she's like, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I had the flash. I don't care. If it goes off again, I'm telling you, any light, and that goes for all of you, you'll be in contempt of court and you'll go to jail for 10 days. I'm like, gee, have a Snickers. That guy was really nuts. And I'm going to talk about the kid that the verdict came in for the kid that killed his mother. Well, it was on trial for killing his mother. Yeah, because you know what I saw? The crime scene person and one of the cops on there, they look like they're about 12. Did you guys see them? They look like they're about 12 years old. It's crazy. But anyway, he got off. He was found not guilty, that guy. Okay, we'll talk about that after. So the judge has a freak out. Then he brings him back in. And then the defense is like, well, the prosecutor told you that this is justice for Evelyn. But how is this justice for Evelyn? Nothing that you're going to do is going to bring justice for Evelyn. You're not going to bring her back. You're not going to do anything like that. So this is for Megan. And he's like, they were lackluster completely. So Brian Fraley from the TBI was the first witness, and he assisted with the disappearance of Evelyn. And that was on February 19th of 2020. So he was called in after an Amber Alert had been issued on 2/18/2020. Tommy Boswell is the one that ultimately contacted the authorities about a missing child. Tommy Boswell is Megan Boswell's father. Once the full Amber Alert goes out, that's when the FBI is called. Other agencies working this were the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office already involved. Now there is a part of the FBI that's called CART. Those are the abbreviations, acronym. It's Child Abduction Response Team. And that's from the FBI. So when there's a child, they get the FBI immediately on that. So he was participating in the interviews with Megan, yes. Well, what did she tell you? He said she told multiple stories that were lies. There were different statements and leads we tracked down. Were you ever able to locate Evelyn? He said yes. On March 6th of 2020, after they had been working around the clock, it was a Friday. Everybody was really burnt out. Everybody had been burning both ends of the candle. It was a Friday, so the plan was that they were going to go home for the weekend, try to reset, try to regroup, come back on Monday. But late in the afternoon, they get a call from Tommy Boswell. And Tommy Boswell says, something like, you could check something on this property. So they go up to Tommy Boswell's. And late afternoon, there's an aerial. They put up an aerial view. It's a diagram of the property of Tommy Boswell. And they're showing a playhouse, and they're showing that it's marked RE, which is recovery of evidence, which happened to be Evelyn Boswell was recovered, the deceased baby. Now, this property is out on Muddy Creek Road. He believes there is a gate from the road to the driveway, and there's outbuildings on this property. It had multiple outbuildings, and one that he called a yard barn, which was this shed, and this shed was built on this hill, it was, what the heck, it was on a hill. It was cantilevered on this hill, this metal storage shed, which he called a yard barn. And he said inside this yard barn, there was multiple boxes of Evelyn's toys, medicines, clothes, diapers, etc., just kind of strewn in there. And behind the yard barn, off to the side, was this playhouse. Okay, so they're showing pictures of this playhouse, kind of it's a house with this little loft on it. Could be real nice for somebody, but it was just a ramshackle inside, everything thrown and just chucked in there. They opened it up. They never really mentioned a smell of decomposition, which I felt was really weird that they never mentioned a smell. But they looked in the playhouse and searched. And once the door was open, because they took multiple pictures, and they did end up showing baby Evelyn's foot and leg. Now, which was did not look like, I mean, you would think that it looked like a foot and leg, the color of it and everything. But then they started putting up a black thing, thankfully, so we didn't have to see anything, because after that, things sounded like they were horrendous. He thought it was a doll at first. But once the door was open, right inside, there's a tall kitchen garbage can, white. There's some bags on the side of this garbage can. Now, he said the rest of the stuff in that playhouse looked like it had been there for ages. You know, it had cobwebs and it had debris on it and stuff like that. But these bags on the side of it, and then, of course, the whole trash can and what was inside looked like it was much more recently placed. So then they started showing the photos of the assorted items, and the trash can, when they pulled the one bag out, there was another bag. These are black trash bags. Now, when he pulled the second bag, when he kind of unraveled the top of it, that's when he saw what he thought was a doll's leg. But it wasn't a doll's leg. It was Evelyn's leg. And she was in the purple fleece sleeper that she was reported in missing, with the penguins and the fleece blanket. And so when he saw that, he immediately called and said, "We've recovered Evelyn. You know, we've got the baby." They waited for the medical examiner's office to come out, and two people came out, the doctor and Laura Parsons. And they put a body bag on the, like, it has like kind of a concrete stoop or, you know, porch kind of area on this playhouse. And they started to go through the bag. Now, baby Evelyn was put into a garbage bag that contained garbage like eggshells and other debris. And she had a blanket wrapped around her face, and on top of that, she had aluminum foil. And it wasn't just aluminum foil that was in the bag that somehow, no. The aluminum foil was molded. I don't think I had ever heard this, molded to her face. Like he said, like it was pressed into the eye sockets and all of that. It was molded to her face. So if that's the way that Megan asphyxiated her, I don't know, but it was tight on there. It wasn't something that occurred in the garbage can. So when they pulled the baby out, they said that the parts of her were more decomposed. There was the pupa and the insects in there, you know what I mean. And there was body fluids. And so they got the baby out. I just thought it was weird they didn't mention a smell, and they thought it was a doll. Let's see here. When they were on the front porch of the playhouse with the body bag, they began removing the contents onto the body bag. Someone from the ME's office, the doctor, and Laura Parsons assisted this man from the TBI that's on the stand now. Now let's see. They put Evelyn in the body bag, and then they continue to go through the trash bag for evidence. Now at this time, Megan Boswell is covering her mouth. She looks like she's sobbing, but I don't see tears. The baby was 13 months of age. Oh, I know what the defense, I forgot to tell you. The defense said that, it said that she murdered her baby. She murdered her baby. Now, how do we know she murdered her baby? They don't know what happened to Evelyn. So the defense's thing is that, you know, they said it could be a crib death. It could be this. They don't know what happened to her. And maybe she's on the older edge for a crib death. But, she's 18. She panicked. So that's going to be their thing, that, maybe she woke up and wasn't breathing and she panicked. Yeah, she panicked and decided to put a blanket around her baby and wrap her head in aluminum foil and then put her in the trash with other trash because she valued this baby so much. Like the prosecution said, she got a gift of this beautiful baby, and look what she did, right? Okay? Come on. I don't know how scared you are, but that's not even having any kind of respect for your child. Oh, I'll just throw her in the trash here? Come on. Okay. So, and the other thing, I'm jumping ahead. What they did say is she had a boyfriend, okay? Let me go back to the opening statements because the prosecution said that we know Megan was telling multiple stories of where Evelyn was, right? She was here. She was with this person. She was with that person. And it ended up that she hadn't been seen since December 6th was the last day that Evelyn was seen. But she wasn't reported missing until February, okay? So when everybody was asking Evelyn all this time, where is the baby? Think about this. She went through a Christmas, and this baby, who doesn't want to see their baby on Christmas? Whose grandparents don't want to see their baby on Christmas, their grandbaby? Right? Nobody's asking. Where's Evelyn? Did you take her to see Santa? What are you doing? I want to bring the baby over here. I want to see the baby with the tree. I want to give the baby the present. No. Okay? Her family, a lot of them have a lot of dysfunction. And you know about her mother and stuff with the shoplifting. Anyway, she said at one point the baby was with her mother and her boyfriend, but that was not true. The baby wasn't there. Then she said the baby was with who's believed to be, but I don't know if he is, Ethan Perry, who's in the military. So they were all like, oh, wow, he's stepping up. Ethan has the baby. Oh, yeah. But then when the police went to question him, he got pulled out of training and he said, I don't have the baby. I didn't have the baby. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Well, it turns out Megan has a new man. Okay. And the new man probably doesn't want some other guy's baby, right? And apparently this guy had a little bit of money, or so she thought, because he was taking her to Gatlinburg and he was taking her to Pigeon Forge and he was taking her to the Margaritaville Hotel. And guess what? You remember when Megan, when she was questioned by the police and she said she was pregnant? And then the sheriff kind of made it seem like she was pregnant. Well, she was never pregnant. She was probably telling this new guy she was pregnant, right? But she had to get rid of her baby because he probably didn't want it, and it just wasn't conducive to this new relationship, right? So, she couldn't be flitting around to all these places. So, yeah. So they admitted Evelyn is just, sorry, not wanted right now. And it's just crazy. But the defense then is saying that, no, well, you're making a lot of assumptions. Why do you know? You don't even know how she died. She's on the higher, age for crib death, but it could be. And she just panicked. She's 18 years old. 18-year-olds panic. And yeah, we denied all the charges. Why did we deny all the charges? Because the charges said that she intentionally misled the police. No, she was scared she was going to get in trouble because even though she didn't kill her baby, she still thought she was going to get in trouble. She wasn't, it's a bunch of crap that they're telling us, okay? So that's the defense, all right? Now, back to this. So, So then they ask him, there's eggshells, fluids of decomposition, the head was wrapped in the foil, the body is in some state of the same state, the aluminum, the blanket, the onesie, the pupa, the insects, common with decomposition, They're showing multiple pics, but thankfully they're not showing them to us. They start removing layers, and they remove the tightly wrapped foil from Evelyn's head. The body had been shoved down into the trash. It was in advanced decomposition. The body fluids were in there, but it did have the fleece blanket that Megan said she was last seen in, and the purple onesie with the penguins. There was numerous insect activity, and the foil formed around her head. It was intentionally put there. On February 25th, the sheriff's department had an interview with Megan, and they said, did she ever tell you anything? Did she tell you that she was deceased? And they said yes. They told us at that point she was deceased. Well, that became a big point of contention. Literally, they sent the jury to lunch. And then when they got back from lunch, the judge was already, this should have been mentioned at pre-trial, blah, 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 blah. And what was going on outside the jury presence was that whether Megan Boswell admitted that Evelyn was dead, baby Evelyn. And the defense was arguing that the question that the prosecutor asked was misleading and was quoting cases and saying that he's talking about fundamental fairness. And then the prosecution says the rule requires that a statement be introduced by a party. I asked if she admitted her child was dead. If portions are misleading, and then the defense said they want a full explanation of what she told him. So now the judge said, oh my gosh, so this was an interview. How long was it? They said 2 hours, but I think, Judge, we have the snippet of that. And then he said, no, you can't do that because I have to listen to the whole thing now. And I'd like to speed this up as much as anyone. But my opinion is I have to go to chambers for 2 hours and review this. So it's the end of the day before they even really got started. They've already ended. So they'll be back. I believe it's 8:30 in the morning tomorrow. And, of course, Monica will be back at 12:30. Next up, we have, hang on, let me get a graphic, okay? Okay, so Colin Griffith was found not guilty. He walked into that courtroom really confident, like he knew beforehand. He slapped his, well, not slapped, he's kind of caressed both of his attorneys, like, we got this on the back. And, well, jury found him not guilty, both counts. And the jury reached the verdict in the trial of Colin Griffith, 17-year-old boy accused of stabbing his mother to death a year after he shot his father to death in Oklahoma. On Wednesday, the jury found him not guilty of first-degree murder and not guilty of kidnapping. Colin was seen hugging his public defense team and then smiling towards his family members, who were all smiling back at him, including his aunt and grandmother. And his grandmother came there and testified in his favor and said things against her daughter, okay? But I don't know. In a short statement after the trial, Colin Griffith's public defender, Amy Thornhill, said, and I quote, "I appreciate all of the attention the jurors paid to what was presented to them. It was a difficult decision, and I thank them." So, back on September 8th of 2024, Polk County Sheriff's Office said Colin Griffith called 911 for help. Law enforcement got there, and on the phone, he told 911 that he and his mother had gotten into a fight. During the argument, his mother lunged at him with a knife, and she fell on it. And this is weird because it went through the side of her neck, clear through to the other side, through like her thyroid cartilage and her esophagus, and just came out the other side. How are you falling on that and coming through the side of your neck? Grady Judd, the Polk County Sheriff, said the 911 operator gave Colin instructions on life-saving techniques, but when the Polk County Fire and Rescue responded to the area, she was already dead, Catherine Griffith. Witnesses told detectives they saw Colin Griffith and his mother outside the mobile home arguing, and they saw him grab his mother by the hair and drag her in the house. According to the sheriff's office, when deputies asked Colin what happened at the scene, he became immediately uncooperative and asked to speak to a lawyer. Detectives said as the investigation continued, they noticed inconsistencies between what the teen said in his 911 call and what was discovered on the scene. Now, a year before the fatal stabbing of his mother, authorities say Colin Griffith shot his father to death in Oklahoma. He said his dad pulled a knife on him and he shot and killed his dad. His father was named Charles. He shot him once in the chest and once in the head, and he claimed it was self-defense. According to officials, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office and the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations charged him with first-degree murder, but then dropped them less than a month later. Sheriff's Office said in March 2023. So the mother went to go pick him up, and she brought him home to live with her in Florida. And he had some involuntary psychiatric hospitalizations. He had time when the police were called where he was arguing with his mother. He was charged with domestic violence battery in November of 2023 by the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office after he battered his mother because she was disciplining him and took his game privileges away. Days before his mother's death, he ran away from home, went to his grandmother's house in Auburndale, and got into an argument over chores. After he refused to go back home, his mother went to the grandmother's home on September 8th of 2024, and that's where she was stabbed to death. During closing arguments, prosecutor Mark Levine said Colin fought with his mother and stabbed her in the neck because he didn't like her disciplining him. And he said, and I quote, he showed his intentions by his actions and words and what he said he was going to do. He was going to kill that evil biatch, his own mom, and so he did. Colin's public defender said he killed his mother in self-defense after she potentially attacked him with the knife first. She also said there's no evidence she was kept in the house against her will. Thornhill painted a picture of his son who was scared of his mother and was trying to escape from her violent and aggressive behavior, which included allegedly pointing a gun at him during a prior incident. You heard him on the body-worn camera footage. I don't want to kill her, but if she attacks me, I will have to defend myself. However, during a press conference last September, Judd stated that the medical examiner's office determined that Catherine Griffith died of a deep penetrating knife wound to the neck that's inconsistent with accidental injury. The jury began deliberations on Tuesday, and Wednesday they found him not guilty. After the verdict was announced, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd issued the following statement. Our detectives firmly believe that Colin Griffith murdered his mother. The jury determined that they could not convict him beyond and to the exclusion of all reasonable doubt. During our investigation, detectives found witnesses that believe he also murdered his father in Oklahoma. That investigation is ongoing. If he was convicted, Griffith faced the possibility of life in prison. So, there you have it all right there. Hello, Bucky Ann. Hi, Astro from space. Hi, everybody. So, let's see what else. What is this? No. Okay, let me look at something else here for a second. All right. A pregnant Wisconsin girl, 16 years old, reported missing, and she's believed to be with the 40-year-old father of her baby. And there's an Amber Alert that's been issued. The goal at the end is to bring her home, Beaver Dam Police Chief John Kreuziger said. They're searching for Sophia Martha Franklin. The Amber Alert has been issued for the pregnant Wisconsin teenager who's believed to be with a 40-year-old man suspected of being the child's father. Sophia Martha Franklin, last seen at her home at 9 p.m. on February 2nd, Sunday, in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. According to the Beaver Dam Police Department, she is believed to be with Gary F. Day, 40 years old, who was seen at Sophia's home on Monday, February 3rd at 7:48 p.m. Sophia is 3 months pregnant. She is described as white, 5'9", 186 pounds. She has brown hair, blue eyes. There is no contact order for Day and Sophia, according to the Amber Alert. Day is described as white, standing 5'7", and weighs 165 pounds. He has blonde hair and green eyes. Gary is known to be the father of the unborn child. Sophia and Day are believed to be traveling in a black Buick LaCrosse after Beaver Dam police took the report of a missing juvenile on Monday, February 3rd. Police say the car had an Arkansas license plate with the number BBR20L. However, in an update, police said the vehicle was seen that morning in Wisconsin with a Pennsylvania license plate of KGW5186. They're probably changing license plates, of course. According to online court records, Day has been charged with 2 counts of child abduction and 2 counts of child enticement causing mental bodily harm. All 4 charges are felonies. An arrest warrant was also issued on February 4th. Sophia and Day began talking online in April of 2024. He traveled to Wisconsin to take Sophia to Arkansas. Although it was thought she was still in Beaver Dam, police found her in Arkansas. She returned to Wisconsin last year, but Sophia's parents found a conversation online from late January, and investigators believe Sophia and Day were talking per the complaint. The Lonoke County Sheriff's Office in Arkansas has reason to believe Day and Sophia are heading to the area of Austin, Arkansas. Day has ties in Austin, and police say he was on probation and under investigation for crimes against children. We have been getting a lot of tips, and we're following up on those tips, say the Beaver Dam Police Chief. We thank the public for their help with the tips. Anyone with information, call the Beaver Dam Police Department at 920-887-4612. Okay, let me just... What is this? Oh my gosh, this looks like somebody that's on YouTube. Hold on a minute. Wow, okay. A Minnesota woman is facing over a dozen felony charges over the deaths of 2 children in an Amish buggy crash. has reached a plea agreement with prosecutors. Sarah Peterson, which is this one right here, pled guilty on Tuesday, February 4th to 2 counts of criminal vehicular operation in connection with the 2023 crash after initially having been charged with 16 counts. On September 25th, Sarah's twin sister, Samantha, this one right here, they don't even look the same age, was behind the wheel of an SUV that crashed into a buggy carrying 4 children in Summer Township. I think I remember covering this one. It's horrible. The crash claimed the lives of 2 of the children, identified as 7-year-old Wilma Miller and 11-year-old Irma Miller. According to investigators, Sarah attempted to take the blame for the crash by claiming to authorities that she was driving the SUV rather than her sister. The documents state that Samantha was seen by witnesses wearing a shirt they believe the driver had on at the time of the crash. As the days continued beyond that first day where the crash was reported, inconsistencies started to appear in both sisters' stories and in the evidence that the deputies uncovered. Later, it was determined that a series of search warrants, interviews, and analysis of different data that, in fact, Samantha Peterson, Sarah's twin sister, was driving the vehicle. Additionally, Samantha had allegedly made searches on her cell phone, including what happens if you get in an accident with an Amish buggy and kill 2 people, and how to lock an iPhone. Cops have. Samantha faces 21 felony charges, including criminal vehicular homicide, criminal vehicular operation, driving under the influence, failure to provide proof of insurance, careless driving, and speeding. As for Sarah, she is scheduled to be sentenced on March 31st. I don't even... Okay, let's see what else. Oh, this is really great. Well, a Wisconsin woman is accused of stabbing her boyfriend in the neck with a kitchen knife during a dispute over their wedding venue. Kaylee Brantner, 22, is facing a charge of first-degree reckless injury in connection with the Wednesday, January 29th incident. A Wisconsin woman allegedly stabbed her boyfriend in the neck. Kaylee faces a charge of first-degree reckless injury in that incident. Police were called to the residence in Brookfield after Bratner's boyfriend notified police that his girlfriend, Bratner, had stabbed him in the neck. The victim alleged that the attack occurred after he and Bratner argued over using their home as the location for their upcoming wedding. On the day of the incident, he allegedly told police he woke up to a text message and screenshots between the defendant and his mother, and this caused an argument. Brantner allegedly attacked him without warning when she returned home early from work, and then followed him with a kitchen knife to the basement where he went to pack up some of his belongings. The man alleged Brantford moved towards him with the knife and swung a couple of times. The victim advised that he was struck with the knife and knew he was bleeding but didn't know where. Brantner allegedly swung the knife 2 more times, and the victim advised that he felt the knife in his neck the second time. He fell to his knees, and Brantner stopped the assault. Investigators spoke to Brantner, who alleged she and the victim both became physical with each other, and she grabbed the knife at one point during an altercation, but she put it down, but grabbed it again after her boyfriend threw her to the kitchen floor. Brantner was released on a $3,500 bond, and she is scheduled to appear in court on February 13th. Her attorney could not be reached, but their wedding now is going to be they probably are. In this world, they're probably still getting married. Isn't that crazy? Unbelievable. Okay. So this is Pennsylvania man is going to stand trial for murder and other charges after allegedly confessing to killing his girlfriend in January. You know why? He claimed he did it out of fear of paranormal activity. 46-year-old Jane A. White was found fatally shot on a street in North Cumberland County, Pennsylvania on January 3rd. Her boyfriend, Jared Wolf, and I'll put a picture of Jared up there. Her boyfriend, Jared Wolf, 46 as well, was arrested after his brother called 911 and alleged Wolf had told him he shot his girlfriend, Jane White. At a hearing on Tuesday, February 5th, the judge said Wolf will be standing trial for all 7 charges against him, including first-degree murder. On the day of the incident, Wolf allegedly told authorities that he and his girlfriend had gone to a friend's house where they smoked marijuana. However, police say he later claimed he was not sure what they smoked. He then said he put a paranormal meter up against a statue and claimed that high reading on the purported meter scared him. Due to the purported high reading, he said he became scared that someone would kill him. He stated that he thought that Jane White and the friends were all trying to kill him and eat him, so he panicked and ran out of the house to retrieve his handgun from his vehicle. He confessed to subsequently shooting White, the girlfriend. She was pronounced dead at the scene by the coroner, who determined that she died from a gunshot wound to the chest. She was an artist, a photographer, and a caregiver who left behind 2 children. She was an amazing mother in person. Her life was taken from her with no reason at all. I think about you every day, Mom. I love you so much, is another comment on her memorial page. Wolf's been charged with first-degree murder, third-degree murder, and 2 counts of aggravated assault, among other offenses. Wow. Wow, look at this. This is unusual. Sweden. Police in Sweden have shared an update on the death toll following a shooting at an adult education school, confirming that at least 11 people have died. On Wednesday, February 5th, the Swedish Police Authority posted a news release confirming the latest death toll. Let's see here. Says, it is an incredibly tragic event that has affected primarily the victims and their relatives and affects all of Sweden, says Roberto Forrest, local police chief in Örebro. At present, there are 11 deaths due to the incident. The number of the injured is still unclear. The incident took place at Campus Risbergska, an adult education campus. The person the police believe is the suspect is among the deceased. We do not yet know the motive for the school shooting, but everything indicates the perpetrator acted alone, without an ideological motive. The police authority is working with full force to investigate the case and ensure safety and around the country. Right now we're focusing, among other things, on identifying the deceased and notifying relatives. In the Bergslagen region, the work is taking place with the framework of a special incident where assistance is provided from other police regions. During the emergency incident, a number of police resources were involved. Okay. Let's see what else here. Police said they did not currently see any danger to the public and will continue to monitor the situation, evaluating and assessing new information. The school serves people over the age of 20 and offers both primary and secondary school classes. It also is thought to include programs for immigrants trying to learn Swedish and vocational training for people with intellectual disabilities. Swedish Prime Minister said, "It is with sadness that I have received information about this terrible act of violence. My thoughts are with those who have been affected and their relatives. It is a very painful day for all of Sweden. My thoughts are also with all those whose normal school day was replaced with terror. Being confined to a classroom with fear for your own life is a nightmare that no one should have to experience." What is this? Okay, let me see if there's anything. All right, so let me go back to the chat here. See what's going on in here. Hi, Murder of Crows. How are you? Hi, everybody that's come in. I'm sorry if I missed who you are. Okay, I think it's time to do word cookies. So, remember tomorrow Sandra Rusak is going to be here. We're going to be doing crocheting at 9 o'clock. You can come up with a crochet noodle. Oh my gosh, again, I said it again. What is wrong with me? A crochet noodle? What the heck is a crochet noodle? Stop it. A crochet needle and yarn. My goodness, crochet noodles. Don't bring any crochet noodles. They're not going to work. You can bring a crochet needle. I think she said like a 5.0, but she said you could kind of use anything. I've got to go find mine. I don't even know where any of my mother's are, but I have some here. I know, and I came across them the other day, and I didn't know what to do. Because I bought them for some reason. I don't know what I bought them for. Some reason, some other time I was going to do something. But anyway, you can bring them. And at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And come on, it should be fun. Come on, panel. And just come on. All right. You've got to do it. Good night, little lady. You're going to bed already? Hi, Evelyn. Oh my gosh. Hi, Gail B. I don't know what is wrong with me. I need to, I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what I need to do, but I need to do something, right? What is it? Kiwi. Yeah, very good. All right, we did it, we did it. Okay, you guys, and I think, would you believe it? I think we still can't get this. Did anybody figure this one out? What is this? Hi, Marianne. I know it can't be shad because we already got that extra word. Hi, Marianne. Hope you're okay. Love you. We can't find this one. This. I already tried DOS. Tried that. There's only one H. Isn't this crazy? What could this be? Uh-uh. What is it? What is it? Try Dal. It doesn't work. Oh boy, this is crazy. We can't get this one again. We can't get it. Yes. Yeah, I can't be sure because it has to go in alphabetical order. I tried Dawes. Hi, 61. Good to see you. I tried Dawes. We can't get it, Hi 61. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, but Shad is already, it's not here because it has to go in alphabetical order. So Shad is an extra word, yes, but it's not there because it's already found, you see. You have to go, it has to go in alphabetical order. You can't like put a Z or a W here because it's got to go before sash. No problem, Leslie. Don't be sorry. We like people to play with us. Don't be sorry. Never stop trying. Everybody has to learn somewhere, right? How it works. Nobody knows how to play this game off the bat. I didn't get that for a while. No. This is ridiculous, isn't it? This is ridiculous. What could this be? Oh, you don't have an R, Gail. I don't know what this is. Hi, Painted Black. Long time no see. Hi. Oh my gosh. Hi, 61. What are we going to do here? This is crazy. This is crazy, guys. Just crazy. I gotta go to bed though. The trial starts at 8:30 in the morning, for crying out loud. 8:30 in the morning. Use a hint? Really? You think, oh, I hate that. You really think we have to use one? Okay, let's do, which one? How did we get two? I didn't know, this is a new thing. It turns over two letters? That must be new. I've never used that. I thought it only turns one letter. But I've never seen, why do we have two? Is this a special thing for the time being? Must be, right? D how? Oh my gosh. What is it with those double things? That must be something new. Hello there. Hi there. Did Kevin have to leave? Yes, I told you he had to go for his uncle. He told us. Remember? I painted black and everybody. What's going on? All right. I think I'm going to call it a night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. God bless. Prayers. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody be good. Be good. Bye. I love you. God bless.